Hi, hello, welcome to our channel Chemistry Era. This is Anil. Today we are going to learn about intermediate second year chemistry, ninth chapter. This is biomolecules, where you can expect a short answer and a very short answer. In this chapter, first let us try to understand about proteins. Protein is a Greek word which means prime important. The biomolecules which has a prime importance are called as proteins. All the proteins are polymers of alpha amino acids. I think all of you know about a polymer. A polymer is a macromolecule having a definite number of monomers in it. Here, when a definite number of monomers are combined together to form a polymer which is known as a protein. So, the building blocks of proteins are alpha amino acids. That means when definite number of alpha amino acids combined together, it is going to form a particular protein. Now let us try to understand about amino acid. A carbon compound having two functional groups. They are amino and carboxyl group in it are called as amino acid. Here in this example, the carbon is attached to two functional groups. They are amino group and carboxyl group. Here, if you observe the compound carefully, to the alpha carbon amino group is attached, so it is called as a alpha amino acid. Next, let us try to understand about classification of amino acids. Amino acids are classified into two categories. They are essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids. First, let us try to understand about essential amino acids. The amino acids which cannot be synthesized in the body and must be obtained through diet are known as essential amino acids. I repeat, the amino acids which cannot be synthesized in the body and must be taken through diet are known as essential amino acids. The example of essential amino acids are valine and leucine. Next, let us try to understand about non-essential amino acids. The amino acids which can be synthesized in the body are called as non-essential amino acids. I repeat, the amino acids which can be synthesized in the body are called as non-essential amino acids. The only difference between essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids are, in case of essential amino acids, those amino acids cannot be synthesized by the body. That means you have to take them through diet. Whereas in case of non-essential amino acids, those amino acids are synthesized by the body. There is no need to take them through diet. Next, let us try to understand about Zwitter ion. Very important. Amino acid in aqueous solution. The carboxyl group can lose a proton and amino group can accept a proton, giving rise to a dipolar ion known as a Zwitter ion. That means when amino acid is dissolved in the polar solvent, the carboxyl group loses the proton and amino group will grab the proton. Because of this, carboxyl group possess negative charge and amino group possess a positive charge. That means in a molecule, two opposite charges are present. Such molecule is called as a dipolar ion or a Zwitter ion. As we have discussed earlier, a protein is a polymer of alpha amino acids. Now, you may have a doubt how these amino acids are joined together. In order to answer that, you have to know about a peptide bond or peptide linkage. Peptide linkage is an amide bond formed between a carboxyl group and a amino group. When two amino acids are joined together by a amide bond, such linkage is called as a peptide bond. In this process, a simple water molecule is lost. So this is an example of a condensation reaction. In a protein, definite number of amino acids are joined together by these peptide linkages. So I think you got the answer. In case of a protein, amino acids are joined together by peptide bond or peptide linkage. Next, let us try to understand about classification of proteins. Proteins can be classified into two types based on their molecular shape. They are fibrous protein and globular protein. See the structure carefully, which is present in the diagram. In the case of fibrous protein, the polypeptide chain run parallel and held together by hydrogen bond. That means in case of fibrous protein, parallel polypeptide chains are present. And these fibrous proteins are also having disulfide bonds. The important property of these fibrous proteins is these fibrous proteins are insoluble in water. Example of fibrous protein is keratin and myosin. That keratin is present in our human hairs. Next, let us try to understand about globular proteins. See the structure carefully in the diagram. This structure results when chains of polypeptides coil around to give a spherical shape. That means the polypeptide chains coil together to give a spherical shape. If you see the spring, same as the spring, the globular proteins are present. These globular proteins are generally soluble in water. The example of globular proteins are insulin and albumin. Next, let us try to understand about denaturation of proteins. When a protein in its native form is subjected to physical change like change in temperature or chemical changes like change in pH, the hydrogen bonds are disturbed. Due to this, globules unfold and helix get uncoiled and protein loses its biological activity. This is called as a denaturation of proteins. Simply nothing but when a protein is subjected to change, it dissociates and gives sufficient amount of energy to the body. This denaturation can be done by using physical methods like change in temperature or by using chemical methods like by changing the pH. Next, let us try to understand about enzymes. Before going to know about enzymes, first let us try to understand about catalyst. Catalyst is a third substance which alters rate of reaction without itself involving in the reaction. Here, enzymes are also doing the same phenomena, but in case of biological reactions occurring in our body. That's why enzymes are called as a biocatalyst. All enzymes are globular proteins. That means globular proteins are acting as enzymes. Enzymes are specific for a particular reaction and for a particular substrate. That means every enzyme is having a definite role in a definite reaction. That means no enzyme can perform two different reactions. That in order to perform a reaction, a specific catalyst has to be used. See the example here. In order to convert maltose into glucose, maltase enzyme is used. Here only the maltase enzyme can only convert maltose into glucose. Next, let us try to understand about vitamins. These are organic compounds required in the diet in small amounts to perform specific biological function for normal maintenance of optimum growth and health of organism. That means these vitamins require in minute quantity, but because of absence of these vitamins in sufficient quantity leads to deficiency. I repeat, these vitamins are biomolecules required in small quantity, but whose deficiency may lead to a disease. Vitamins are classified into two categories depending on their solubility. They are fat soluble vitamins and water soluble vitamins. The vitamins which are soluble in fat or oil are called as fat soluble vitamins. The fat soluble vitamins are vitamin D, vitamin A, vitamin E and vitamin K. A, D, E and K are fat soluble vitamins. Next category is water soluble vitamins. The vitamins which are soluble in water are called as water soluble vitamins. The B group vitamins and vitamin C are water soluble vitamins. Next, let us try to understand very important topic, the different types of vitamins, sources and disease caused because of deficiency of those vitamins. First, let us try to understand about vitamin A. The prime sources of vitamin A are fish liver oil, carrots, butter and milk. Because of deficiency of vitamin A, the disease caused are night blindness and xerophthalmia. Next vitamin is vitamin D. The prime sources of vitamin D are exposure to sunlight, fish and egg yolk. Deficiency disease caused are rickets and osteomalacia. Next vitamin is vitamin E. Vitamin E is majorly present in vegetable oils. Deficiency of vitamin E may cause increased fragility of RBC and muscular weakness. Last and final one, we are going to learn about vitamin K. Vitamin K is majorly present in green leaf vegetables. Deficiency disease caused is increased blood clotting time. Increased blood clotting time. Next, we are going to learn about hormones. Hormones are molecules that act as intracellular messengers. That means when you got hurted, the immediate information gets transferred from our brain to the particular organ which was affected by it. So, hormones are molecules that act as intracellular messengers. Nothing but they are the postmans. These are produced by endocrine glands in the body and directly into bloodstream which transport them in the site of action. That means these hormones are produced by the endocrine glands and directly injected to your blood. There are three different types of hormones are present. They are steroidal hormones, polypeptide hormones, and amino acid derivatives. Example of steroid hormones are estrogen. Example of polypeptide hormones is insulin, and example of amino acid derivatives is epinephrine. I hope all of you have understand the chapter biomolecules. If you like this video, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel Chemistry Era. Thank you very much for watching.